This is the Ponderous Brick Thinker with a castle update, and the update is, it's time to finalize these rock sketches for these bases. If you recall, in a prior episode, I did mention that some of these sketches did fall and break, and some of the pieces did eventually come into the final form over here. So I did recreate as best I can. There will be some editing even now. And let me share with you a sketch to kind of illustrate why there's going to be some editing. So here we go. And what I'm trying to convey is that what you see in Lego form is the very top of a mountain. So the cliffs just extend further down, and everything above the red line is what I'm trying to capture. And therefore, over here, you notice it's the browns will be touching the desk, which would suggest that it goes very low in terms of just trying to build up to this level, which kind of doesn't make sense. Otherwise, it would be go for something of this height, and that's reasonable, and then build a platform. To fulfill that part of the sketch, I'm going to extend this rock face out this way and push it out this way. The reason being is that with the rocks here, it suggests that the mountain is naturally that shape, and all the Lego people did was build maybe this much of brown pieces to reach this platform. Otherwise, it would imply that way down they started building with the brown pieces just to get to this corner, which doesn't make sense, but I'm trying to adapt the sketches to that current idea. And my first face I'm going to start with will be this. It is the front, here's the entrance, but that way I get an idea that how it's going to relate to this, especially because I have it extending out a bit. It's probably going to extend out this way a little bit, and so that way I can keep this around, and then once I'm good with this face, I can put this aside and focus on the rest of this. The other thing is I'm probably going to try and do all of this together, because it is going to interconnect, and especially here it's going to provide a unique opportunity for some problem solving, because this one did not have corners in this direction, but this would be a good opportunity to see how this method of building a facade is practical. Maybe it's only practical in this way. Maybe this is a new discovery to find out that it doesn't work, but I'm going to try and make it work. With this being the first, let me show you what's going to happen on the other side. Here's the back side. I do miss the luxury of having every piece attached to the base so that when it rotates, it goes along with it. There are more faces here to move along, so I'm probably not going to rotate it as much as I did the first base. But you also notice something that obviously contradicts what I'm trying to do with the castle. The flat part does not really go with what I'm planning, with all the steepness going to there. That leads me to a design solution that kind of creates a little slope here. And I'm going to refer to this right here, particularly this. If I build it out to the edge of the green, then it can kind of follow. There is an opportunity to put some garden effects here. I'm not sure how much space I'll have because it's going to be very narrow. It's still going to slope, but maybe there'll be some opportunity to put a tree or bushes, maybe a pond. I'm not even sure if I'm going to have a pond in the rest of the castle build, but because of that, I am kind of reconsidering what I'm doing with the browns here. And this is where the balcony area is. But I can replace this browns here, the dark red, dark orange, tan, with white, maybe even gray, and even below this, to kind of represent that there is still white bricks here, and the Lego people carved it out to make this surface. Then browns will be okay over here. That is to signify that over on this side, there will be dark gray bricks, kind of following this line, even dark gray bricks following this line, black here, and wherever there's white poking up, that'll be white bricks. To kind of represent that it's not a flat thing, which it is, but to suggest that there is some 3D or depth to it going this way, so that it becomes part of the structure, either the walls or the castle towers. And that might free up some browns here. For example, this will probably be black and white. This will be replaced with white to kind of represent that some of the mountain is incorporated into the foundation of the tower. As a result, I believe this will be priority second. I'm going to do the front side first, and I'm going to try and free up as many of the angled plates, find out what I need to do this with, and that way I have a direction to work on. Because right now I have a big hole here because I'm realizing that it's going to extend out this way, but not necessarily with a big plate that big. It might be smaller. There we go. And that way it can just go up through there. So just a preview of what the backside looks like as of right now. Next step is to finalize the front. Here's the in-between step where I took the sketch, broke it apart, and made the several layers that are going to kind of indicate how far they're going to be from the base. As you can see, this one's really far from the corner, but that's so that I have rock here and then comes up to that, these sides. And if you can tell, it starts wider and then starts narrowing or getting closer to the base as it goes in this direction. And all I need to do is get enough of the plates to fill in the gaps. But also I'm looking at this one, and this is where I originally had it placed more or less. But if I bring it up to here to kind of be more gradual, I would say it's too close to that edge right here. And if I go like this so that it's a bit more comfortable, it's too big of a gap right here. So I'm just going to switch this with these two, and this side can be more steep and this can be more fragmented, using the smaller pieces to kind of gradually come into this level. So far so good. Here's the progress so far. The sketch has been broken apart and rearranged. Let me take this base out of the way, and you can see the profile more clearly. It is following this diagonal, but it's jaggy, and you can see this corner here is odd, but I'm gonna try and make a peak right here and have it match the facing of this side, and see if I can do it, and see if this way allows that kind of expression of rock. And then over here I did some sketching of how is this rock face going to attach to these plates, and you can see I have some white here. It was a thought to kind of suggest that this is one piece, and here is where they carved out that rock, and then on top of that they placed the brown bricks and then their surface. And that's a thought that I'm wondering if I can put it into the other base. The only thing that's kind of preventing me is I don't think I have enough dark gray bricks to be able to do even this much diagonal. That's going to be intense because it's going to be basically a lot of gray bricks, and I don't have enough as of even right now. So my next step is going to be to finish the rock facings and use the dark gray bricks as needed to make it comparable to the first base, and then kind of evaluate and if this is the way to go, and that way make the call. And because it's not just the first base, but it's going to be this base, to make sure that there's gray bricks behind the dark gray and so forth. and I'm pretty sure I have enough white and black bricks so that I can do that idea. But it's a balancing act. I probably don't have enough, and the price of dark gray bricks are probably not low because they're actually being used for castle construction. And if I don't have enough bricks, it'll probably be just following this example, and the stepping is behind this here, so that there's dark gray theoretically, and the brown bricks are on top of those. I'll probably start again when the brown bricks are pushed out, and I can make sure that every plate is sealed so that there's no gaps, and go from there. Take a look at this. Here's the corner in pretty much in its final form. It matches up to brick facing right here, like that. And if you see below, I did connect the plates or the bases, which I'm not planning on doing, but I just wanted to see if it was flush here, how it would look like there. Because a brick, well, just to let you know, these two pieces are on the different bases. So if this was the situation, what it would look like, because I was seeing a gap between the plates, and I wanted to see if that was right or not, and apparently it is, and that is pretty much the separation needed to fit in a brick, and so everything is fine. And the other thing to show you is that even though again, this is not going to be connected to each other, but with the browns in place, this corner piece is going to be pretty much there. And all I need to do is separate the bases and it'll come loose, but because they're tight right now, I'm just going to do this. So the construction of the corner piece, it relies on this bracket. Pretty much this is the front face, or let me orient it this way, and then I need to get a plate, and it can be any kind, just to create some depth, so that way I can have a support plate here, and then this face, and this will match up to the brick here, that brick face. Otherwise, this could have been the support, but it would have created a gap right there. And to avoid that, I went ahead and put a plate here, plus just a normal brick to cover that gap. Could be two plates, maybe even a plate. But let's see. There might be some gaps still visible, but a brick will for sure cover that hole. The next step will be to work on here and continue this way. The rock face is almost completed. I tried my best to make sure that the brown bricks will in the future touch the rock facing as predicted, but we'll see when that happens. The other thing you might notice is the support that is also needs to be done. The other thing is this is perhaps the longest rock face of the project. Too long for a single one. And the thing is, let me show here. I found success at this level. Above 6 bricks, have this, and it will be able to have the bottom of the rock facing be flush to the desk. But the rock facing are lower than this, and this has to come out. So for example, if there is a dark red right here to be part of the support, this is going to get in the way. This is going to be in the back, and this is going to be in the way of taking this out. And also all right here are going to be brown bricks, and I won't be able to gently break this free from the spoke. And so the only logical place will be here. And the thing is, there's only enough room for one. And that led me to the decision to divide this in half so that at least one of them can support here. And we'll see if 2 or 1 are needed for this half. So that needs to be done on this side. And on this side, I have this temporarily. What I'm going to do is insert some supports there. And I did some calculations. And this particular support, to this level, there are 5 bricks and 5 plates. And that would take me up to right there. I just need one more plate high on top of this one to be even with this. So that way I can, say for example, this on top of that light aqua blue color. This and then this pink should touch this or be flush on it, be like that. And then this one on top so that it can replace that brick, and then the rest of the support can be inserted into there. So basically what I do, or what I've been doing off camera and the other supports, is basically this kind of surgery. And this is not permanent. I just need to remove this 2x1 brick. Put this in here. And let's see this part, and yeah. Let me make sure these are tight. Let's see, what can I press? Okay. That actually feels secure. And so when this comes, can latch, rotate a bit more. There. Now I am noticing this right here. I'm going to see what other possibilities I have to kind of make sure it comes this way. I am not sure. Maybe one of the plates are not fully squeezed and it's just ever so slightly off a degree that it makes it really noticeable up front. But that's, I think, still fixable. If anything, it's also maybe rotating at the spoke. Maybe I need to be more supportive in terms of if there's needs to be a brick to make sure this round plate doesn't rotate too much. But I think that's still okay. The other part is this half. And this is going to be as the other base, where I could come in this way and just detach it. And so that's leading me to be placing around here. So the other thing is, just to count, I basically have free reign as to where to place it. I can place it somewhere around there. And then I have 1 and then 5 plates to reach this surface. In other words, right here will need to be 5 plates, then this. So from here to here needs to be 5 plates. Okay, I'll be back with preparations for this surgery. Everything is set, ready to go. Let me just point out that this is the correct place for the support. And let me show you, it corresponds to this thing here. So I need to have 1 row of studs above this, then 5 plates to touch the face of the second stud, like so. So here are the two studs, and then one row of studs to be over the two plates, and that corresponds to this because I have there. So I have one here, and it's going to be in front. So it's basically this first line of green where this light yellow brick is, it's right above the two plates. And so from the above the two plates, 1, 2, it's touching that surface. So that's what I want. I have my 5 plates here. Just about there. And since it's going to go about right here, and since this is the face or the plate that's going to touch the face of the brick, I don't need to reduce that 5 plates because it is going to be directly on there. Okay, just double check that everything is yes. It's just a little big. And let me just push it in all the way. So it goes in there. And to verify, this process is a lot of verification to make sure that the support's not in the way of the brown bricks, and that the brown bricks are going to touch where they need to. Probably add one more 1x2 because I didn't see that there. Unless it fell off with all the bumping. And it's so nice to have this go together without having to move it separately. Now that this is set, now I can attach it to basically the only support. And this is going to be an interesting problem or design solution because I really don't have anything for this face right here to attach something to at the 6th level high area. And also this area here. So I think this is going to be the central column. I'm going to need to design long bricks so that they can reach out and be able to catch this and support it in these directions. But for right now, I'm going to attach it there. And since it's going to be 6 and 7, 6 and 7, it's basically be replacing that level. So I'm going to take out this lime green brick, and I'm going to move down the round brick, and so this will be on top of the brown, and then I'll probably use this either to help support these other facings or replace another structure so that I can use those bricks somewhere else. Okay, and then here, you know what, might as well add some 1x2s. To help grab onto there. Okay. Then I just need to go back and make sure everything else is secured again. There. Then to reattach it, verifying that it was nothing out of place. There we go. And everything looks good. And I think it's ready. Ready for the round bricks. Ready for this part of the design to see if I can make this idea work, where it's gonna terminate in a peak at the corner. And I'll decide the fate of this one later and see where it can go. Maybe here and just help prop up this face, but we'll see. And the other thing, this might extend outward and replace those to support this or this way. Okay. So now that this part is done, I'll be ready for the other face. This has been the Ponderous Brick Thinker. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed it, or even maybe learned something. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see how this project turns out, go ahead and subscribe. See you next time.